Hello, everybody. So, as I said in the chat, timing would be that literally 3 minutes prior to this Zoom, I had like we're fixing up the nursery, right? So I had a whole bunch of crap over here that I asked Nick to bring downstairs for me. That was in eye shot of the background of the Zoom. So 3 minutes prior, I'm like, could you bring this downstairs? And that is how we figured out that our basement is flooded. So I mean, it's crazy. It's been raining torrential downpour for days. So scary though. It's like you don't know where the hell it's coming from. Anyway, if you hear some crazy stuff in the background, you see Nick like scrimmaging past me in the background, trying to go downstairs. The show goes on, but that's what's happening over here. Never a dull moment. So let's talk adrenal hacks. All right. I feel like as my adrenaline is pumping, it's a perfect time to deliver this talk. But here we are. Today, my hope is to run it down. I'm going to do morning, during the day, and then evening. Different hacks that can help overall. Now, these will calm the adrenals, yes, but these are just good to do in general when you have any kind of chronic illness, especially. We all know we should drink water. We all know we should remember to breathe throughout the day. But my hope is to put it in a realistic, almost like fun to do kind of format so that it makes sense for us dopamine wise, us neurodivergence in here, especially to do them just throughout the day. Not like it's like a big change or a baby step, even, but just little hacks that we can incorporate throughout the day. Overall, this will help with adrenal stuff, inflammation, overall stress, our cortisol levels. This is good stuff that's good for you. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing, woosah, take a drink. Okay, not to be redundant, because those of you who have been tuning in for the Happy Adrenals series, I've definitely mentioned this, but here's the first hack. Wait 2 hours for your coffee in the morning, but have fun with your decaf option. When it comes to making swaps and stuff, it's so important. And I went into detail. I think it was the first Happy Adrenals video. I went into more detail about why waiting those 2 hours are important. I'll definitely put it in the Happy Adrenals classroom that I'm composing. It's definitely I go into depth, I think, in 2 different Zooms on that. So what I am going to talk about, though, is to make it fun, right? When you don't need to wait 2 hours for decaf. Now, there is technically a small amount of caffeine in decaf, but it's so negligible that it really doesn't matter. You want to, whenever you're making these swaps, you want to replace the habit. I mean, you want to replace the thing, but not so much the habit. Like if you enjoy your coffee in the morning, you're not just drinking it first thing in the morning because it gives you caffeine energy, but it's like the smell of it, the taste of it, the habit of going to your Keurig or your Nespresso or whatever in the morning. It's just kind of ingrained. It's going to feel a lot weirder to just stop that than it would be to try and replace it with something else that still gives you that experience to look forward to. And I'm a big fan of, we just like the taste of stuff a lot of times. So I used to make fun of people who drank decaf because I was like, what do you enjoy? The flavor? What are you, old? And now I'm old and now I drink decaf because I enjoy the flavor. So I get it. But I switched to decaf 2 weeks ago. It's my go-to habit in the morning. Right. It's still, you get that brewing, you get the warmth, or if you like it iced, you get that refreshing, kick. And we get accustomed to taste. So I think we should honor that. You guys have been with me for a while now. This is not the program that's like, tell yourself no, because you're going to do better. That doesn't get you anywhere. Like there's no extra points in heaven because you made it harder on yourself. So go for the friggin' decaf if you enjoy morning coffee. You don't want to screw yourself adrenally, but you like drinking it. Why should you just go cold turkey? You don't like tea? Don't square peg round hole it and try to just force yourself to like tea. If you like tea, great, me too. But you get my point? Let's see. every day iced decaf Americano with sugar-free syrups. And that's the other part there too, is you can have a lot of fun with flavors. Whether you get flavored decaf pods, whether you get different syrups to have fun with it, like it can become an experience more than anything. And pretty much every Starbucks drink can be duplicated. I struggle with coffee because I can't stand unsweetened coffee. Using artificial sweeteners tastes gross, and using real sugar how I want is not good for my pre-diabetic butt. Different topic. We will definitely cover that. I'm going to be doing an insulin series coming up. I haven't decided if I want to do inflammation first or insulin as our next, like today is going to conclude the Happy Adrenals. So, but the next series we do is either going to be inflammation or insulin. And either way, I'll send you some ideas for that. But for this, decaf. Decaf is your friend. And they make so many replacement decaf flavors now, you know, or just regular decaf. I actually really like Trader Joe's decaf pods. I like the regular pods too for later in the day, but I find them to be cheap and they're good enough. But Amazon as well. I don't think I'm so bad at doing the affiliate stuff. Nick yells at me all the, well, Nick doesn't ever yell at me. Nick will give me a sigh every time I suggest something to people and I don't give them my Amazon storefront link because it's just not how I'm built. I like sharing stuff I like. I don't think about it for like points or commission or anything. But I have compiled a pretty good Amazon store, so I will link that in the chat after this. And I have some really good cheap decaf pod options in there as well. Okay, so here was a tip I did today. Mix some protein powder in with your coffee. Now, don't do this if you have a protein powder you can barely stand. I use, and I will also link this because their website's a little overwhelming. But I like Syntrax protein, the Nectar line. This is what I mean. They have like 15 different lines, but the Nectar, excuse me, weird hiccup. The Nectar line from Syntrax is really great. And they have coffee flavors. And their cappuccino coffee flavor, I haven't checked the macchiato one, but the cappuccino flavor one is caffeine free. So, and it's so good. I find that their proteins, what's really important to me is that I don't like taste it and that it like dissolves fully. I cannot stand to a sensory level when it comes to consuming it, to knowing it won't mix, like just seeing it, like it drives me insane when things clump up. Trying to mix like cocoa powder when I make a hot cocoa, I will scream at the damn pot. I'm like, incorporate. I hate it. It bothers me. Syntrax Nectar protein. I've mixed it with yogurt. I've mixed it with ricotta. I've mixed it with drinks, cold and hot, and it just mixes right away. I don't typically like endorse things that I don't really love myself and use. So I do have a 25% off code for them that I will give you because I used myself. I mixed the cappuccino protein powder in with my coffee today, and it was freaking delicious. So that's a little hack, especially for the morning. Those of you who are like, it's really hard for me to get food down in the morning. You know, I'm a big proponent of chewing something in the morning and eating and giving your body the need to break things down is really helpful. But if you you have such a struggle that you cannot really eat anything solid in the morning, at the very least, protein powder helps. And this is a way to not make it an ordeal. You know, smoothies are great in theory, but if you don't have time to make eggs, you're probably going to have time to like put fruit and like all different ingredients in a blender and drink it and love it and blah, blah, blah. So I like a good, like quick mix protein that I don't have to think about. And like I said, putting it in my coffee, putting it in my yogurt, those are my favorite go-tos in the morning. You can also get like the Premier protein drinks or the I haven't tried these, but I hear good things about the Core Power, I think it is. I don't know if it's any good. Like I said, I haven't used it, but I see everyone like on TikTok and Instagram, they use that as creamer. I've done it with Premier Protein with the peanut butter cup one. Okay. I thought my protein powder was a little bit creamier. Like it made it a little bit like more like, have you ever had those shitty but really good but shitty like automatic cappuccinos from a convenience store like Quick Check or Wawa? I don't know. It might just be a Jersey thing. So I'm sorry if those of you are watching are like, I have no idea what you're saying. But or they have it at like cafeterias where you pick like the cappuccino pre-made and you know it's just like a sweet cafeteria drink, but it's really good. That's what it reminded me of with the protein powder. So I found Chobani Zero Protein Plus drinkable yogurt. Yeah, I love the drinkable yogurt. I used to drink I mean, I still do when I find a good deal on them. The cookies and cream. I love that flavor. I don't drink, and I love a drinkable yogurt. Like it's very convenient. It's like the neurodivergent side of me is like, I don't want to get a spoon. I don't want to sit here and do this if I'm not in the mood to eat. So, I get it. Ideally, we're supposed to eat something to give our body, something to break down, but there's other options. I don't drink coffee though, so I don't know how it would be, but as a drink, but I can vouch for it. Which ones? Oh, the core drink. Awesome. Good to know. I haven't tried it and I really want to. The Fairlife Core Power. Yeah, and I think it's lactose free, right? All throughout college, labs at 3 a.m. Absolutely. Like I don't even want to think about how many grams of sugar I consumed my diabetic ass back then, drinking Quick Check powdered automatic cappuccino, but they were so good. Or like I think they had it in our high school cafeteria too, which is crazy. But okay, moving on to something not food related. Morning stretching. So, our lymphatic system plays into everything because it's our body's way of moving around the byproduct, the waste of all of our cells just regenerating constantly. And basically, you might have heard about lymph nodes, right? We have lymph nodes all over our body, and they're basically like Brita filters. So this cellular waste moves around our body, goes through these filters, and by the time it makes its way through all the filters, the idea is that it's all filtered out. It's a pretty big task your lymphatic system has. And it can get sluggish because whereas there are, I don't remember the numbers, there are like more lymph nodes in the body than blood vessels, right? But our lymphatic system isn't like our vascular system. It doesn't have a pump. Our vascular system, our blood, like it's pumped by our heart. So it circulates throughout our body. Lymph drainage happens through movement, gravity, massage, activity, which for a lot of different reasons ain't easy to come by for all of us all the time. We're moving our limbs all around typically. So when you have a sluggish lymphatic system and things are moving slowly, especially if you're combining it with not drinking enough, not eating enough, things like that, this all impacts your adrenals because when we can't use power appropriately, like energy appropriately in one area, our body's going to make up for it by giving us energy through our adrenals, through adrenaline, because we're still demanding things of our body. We still need to move. We still need to think. We still need to talk, to be alert, to be aware of things, to drive, like all of those things. If we're not relying on energy appropriately coming from our food or other sources, we're going to lean on adrenaline. So this is one of those things that's not like, is this distinctly adrenal? No. Does it help with the cause? Yes. And that is when you get up in the morning and you've been laying pretty flat all night, get up and stretch. Don't just get up and off to the races. Don't lay, I know it's easier said than done because a lot of us in here are battling fatigue, right? So when you can, I'm not saying like thrust yourself out of bed. I'm saying just gently get out of bed, take a couple deep breaths, and stretch as much as you can physically, if you have limitations, of course. Just move your arms around, stretch your limbs. Again, gravity and movement is what helps that lymphatic drainage happen. You've been laying flat, sedentary all night. So again, on one hand, it's good because you're not like off to the races as soon as you wake up. You're not waiting till the last minute, laying down and then in a panic, jumping out of bed and grabbing your coffee and like, please, love of God. That's not good for adrenals. waking up slowly and stretching. And everyone's like, if I get up, I have to be off to the races. You got 30 seconds to stretch your limbs. You're going to have to get up and piss, right? Stretch on the toilet if you have to. But try to incorporate leisurely rising as much as you can. Okay. I'm trying to think if I want to tell you this in order. I wrote it in a weird order, but back to something we can consume in the morning. Keep water by your bedside. I don't care if it's flavored. I'm going to tell you my favorite flavoring in a minute. I don't care if it's flavored. I don't care if it has lemon in it. I don't care what it is. Keep water by your bedside. And when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, when you do your stretching and everything in bed, take a few big healthy sips. You don't have to chug the whole thing. You have to finish the whole thing, but start your day by giving your body the hydration that it has lacked for hours while you've slept. And it's been working, doing stuff while you're sleeping too. So you might not feel it, but you're parched when you first wake up, and your body listens to what you give it. So if your body is used to you not giving it a lot of fluids, it's going to not make you that thirsty throughout the day. Kind of like how I tell you eat something in the morning because it stimulates your appetite. Same thing with drinking and hydration. Does anyone have a good stretching short video to follow on YouTube? I don't have one. I should probably do one, but I don't even think to try and make like a routine out of it that you have to follow. I think do what feels right. Like literally stretch, hands over the head, some arm. Remember gym class? Some rotations, just stretch out your chest. I'm going to show you an unbracing exercise, which will stretch out a little bit, but just like get up, like move your legs, lift your legs a little bit, move your toes around, your feet around, like just get moving. I wouldn't think too much into it. Okay, you got water by the bedside. What else you got for the morning? Eat anything. I know this is something that I have mentioned in the other videos a lot, and there is a lot that goes into this. Watch those other videos for a deeper perspective on this. But my hack for this is keep 3 small grab and nosh kind of things in your fridge that you can tolerate eating in the morning. It doesn't have to be a full meal. You just want to give your body something to go off of. You want to tell your stomach, hey, you got to make enzymes and acids because there's food coming. Like that start to your day is really important. I am not an advocate for intermittent fasting, especially for people like us that have hormonal imbalances, that have inflammation rampant, have thyroid issues. Like intermittent fasting, for every study saying that it's good, which is there's like caveats to all of those studies that I've found so far. I love debunking them. There's 10 more telling you that intermittent fasting is just a way to reduce caloric intake for the day. That's literally it. That's the tool that it's used for, just to make us eat less. It's just another weird systematic thing we can do, and those of you who say, well, I don't have an appetite in the morning, I don't want to get too into this because I mentioned the other videos. Your body learns from what you do. It's not that you're better off not eating in the morning. You haven't eaten all night. Your body has already gone through a fast. And I think in the morning, does it have to be a big elaborate meal? No, you can continue to pick on things throughout the day. Meals are a man-made construct, if we're being honest, but eating something in the morning to get your system going is going to be the biggest thing that you can do for your adrenals. So, a hard-boiled egg. If you have the egg ick, there's other things you can pick. Text me, because every time I'm asked this in a general way, I go, but one-on-one, I can tell you, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and we'll pick 3 things. But have 3 things, best if it's protein, but anything, if it's nothing lately, anything is still better, and just have them available. So in the morning, you might be like, why 3 things? Because you might not want the same thing every single day. But if you give yourself 3 things that you have on hand, you can pick what you're in the mood for that morning. So definitely text me if you need help picking your 3 things. Kind of like picking like safe foods, and those of you who are neurodivergent in here, like I cycle through those things, whatever they are. Like I'm on a kick right now where I really like burrata cheese and tomato salad. I'm pregnant, so I don't know if I'm the best judge of character with that. I used to do boiled eggs a lot. I like soft boiled eggs. What else do I do? Frozen edamame, pop it in the microwave. It's something you can grab and just eat, so it helps that like hand to mouth kind of thing. I love cheese and fruit. It's always been a good combo. Little, and it could just be a couple pieces. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to sit and engorge yourself in your breakfast if that's not your style. So keeping a written food safe food list helps my forgetful ADHD brain a lot. Definitely keep like you put on your fridge or whatever, just like an inventory list of what you're into in the moment, for sure. Okay. And then I mentioned this every call, but it has its own Zoom for a reason. This is more in depth. Start your day with the eat the frog method. Have a little powwow with yourself. Get your day sorted on paper in a non-overwhelming way. Watch that Zoom. Even if you've heard it before, you've been with me for a while, you're in KGG, watch it again as a refresher. It will be in the classroom, the Happy Adrenals classroom, along with this, when we complete this. Definitely start your day with Eat the Frog. I cannot explain to you the difference in my day when I do it versus I don't. And I have done that method on the back of a napkin before. It takes 2 minutes to do. Okay. So let's move into during the day. My mom is calling me on repeat, even though I told her I have my Zoom. Gotta love that. So, water hacks. Like I said, this is not exclusive to adrenal health, but it definitely helps. And that is to stay hydrated enough. You want to give your body every opportunity to have the best source of energy it can outside of adrenaline. So you want to make sure that your cells are nice and hydrated and functioning at the best capacity they can. Keeping hydrated is huge. It helps lower blood sugar, like aside from the adrenals, helps lower blood sugars, helps balance out inflammation, helps with lymphatic flushing, right? It helps break up sinus stuff that can collect overnight. It helps with stomach acid. There's so many great things about drinking. You don't hold on to water as much because your body doesn't need to reserve it because it doesn't know when the hell you're going to drink something. It's a big deal. And we've all heard this for how long, right? I used to suck at drinking water, at drinking anything. I just wasn't a drinking kind of, I used to drink coffee and wine, that's for sure. But when it came to like staying hydrated, I should say, not my bag for a really long time. And I've been told forever, I've been diabetic since I was 7. You know how many times I've heard stay hydrated for your blood sugars? Until I figured out these hacks, didn't happen. So here's how I drink enough water. 1, you have to kind of rely on dopamine with this. When we complete something, we release dopamine. It makes us feel good. It makes us like, oh, we're accomplished. We completed something, So don't look at this thing that I can't stand because it's so big. I feel like I could freaking knock someone out with this, right? It's a Stanley, cheap Amazon Stanley. But when I started drinking more water, you want to have a smaller water bottle that you fill up more often because as you fill it up, dopamine is like, yes, you did it. Another one down. Look at you. You're drinking so much today. You are hydrated. And you just naturally want to fill it up more. Okay, so smaller water bottle. Second of all, don't think about how many of those water bottles you need to drink. Don't think about how many ounces you need to drink. If you are not drinking enough, don't give yourself some overwhelming goal to hit. Instead, you want to create the habit. To create the habit, you want to think to yourself, keep your water bottle near you. Every few minutes, you take a sip. And that's the deal you're going to make with yourself, is that my whole spiel with my water is I take a sip every few minutes. Take a sip every few. Everybody can take a sip every few if you keep it right in front of you. And also keeping it smaller means that it won't go like room temp and weird if you haven't drank enough. I don't know if that's a thing for other people, but it would bug me out. Like I would get those big ass bottles and be like, yes, I'm going to drink the whole thing today. Today's the day. And I wouldn't. And by noon, it had like the stagnancy bubbles, and I'd be like, I barely crack. And then I'd chug it, and I like wouldn't even make a dent. And I'd be like, well, this is hopeless. And I would hate it. So, smaller water bottle, make the agreement that I'm just going to take a sip every few minutes, sip every few minutes. Before you know it, you've drank the whole thing and you have to refill it. And dopamine is like, great job. You are so hydrated. And then you keep going. Next tip. What if you don't love plain water? Listen, we have like this sense of discipline that we kind of like diet culture and society has taught us that our worth is in how hard we work for things. But again, there is no spot closer in heaven because you made it harder on yourself and you didn't take the enjoyable way in. I can't stand that concept. We should enjoy everything we do. Why the hell are we here? So find a flavor you like. If you don't love the taste of plain water, if you do, mazel tov, that's great. But if you don't, all right, it's me. I'm just not, I just can't do it. Find flavors you like. I really like True Lemon. They're in terms of like drink powders and stuff, their ingredients are really simple. They do have a little bit of sugar in them, but like that's fine. No one's gonna die from that, you know? This is coming from a diabetic who could literally die from sugar, and I'm telling you, you're fine. Okay, like I don't even take insulin for the amount of sugar in here because it's that small. It's 1 gram. Okay, but they use real sugar, and I love this stuff. I get the strawberry lemonade flavor. They have other ones like strawberry lemonade is pretty much like in most grocery stores along with the regular lemon. But online, they have like a bunch of fun flavors. You can do limeade. You can do all kinds. This also helps for us neurodivergents that have issues with the nothingness of water. Psychologically, if something has a flavor, you'll grab it more. Like it just creates more of like, not that you're like hooked on it, but like your taste buds are expecting a flavor. So it helps out with the whole sip all day kind of concept. Don't make it harder on yourself and be like, no, water is healthiest and I'm going to drink. You know what's healthiest? Not being dehydrated, not being shriveled up on your insides. That's what's healthiest. So find the flavor you like because your mortgage ain't gonna get paid because you went and drank water that you didn't like. Okay. What else? What other hacks? I think that's it for water hacks. Yeah. Smaller water bottle. Oh, get a bottle that's easy access. Like a straw top, a sippy top. It's okay. It's not just for the kids. I'm not for nothing. Like, I know it seems so weird, but you are less likely to sip every few minutes. You got to sit there, you got to open up and unscrew the top, and you got to drink it. You spill it all over yourself. If you're me, especially, like I can't drink from an open container without dribbling. It's ridiculous. But straw, easy access. If you're like, I don't like having my straw out, they have the ones that have the latch that you can close it and put it away, or that has the push bottle, or the push top or whatever. There's just tons of easy access models out there, but get yourself an easy access bottle. Okay. Yeah. So water hacks. I swear, doing that, I drink way more. And I promise you can ask Nick. It was like the last thing I changed. I made all these changes for my hormones, had my whole lifestyle uprooted. Everything was great. And I still was like, I have such a headache. Nick would be like, did you drink anything tonight? And I'd be like, I think I had something. That's how I was forever. So I stay hydrated now. Okay. Same thing as in the morning. Get up and move your limbs throughout the day. Same thing. You're helping your lymphatic system. Just getting everything moving. The more you help your lymphatic system, the more energy you have, the less like swelling and puffiness you'll notice. Right? And my favorite way to do that is to embrace. So one, you want to do the basics where you stand up, especially if you work at a desk all day. Every few hours, just stand up, stretch your back, move around, move your legs around. I'm going to show you embracing. look at something else besides a screen for a minute, just like recalibrate. Seems silly, makes a huge difference. Okay. Unbracing is one of my favorite. Those of you who are CCA veterans here, you know I'm big on the unbracing, right? Unbracing is a series of exercises you can do to literally bring down your cortisol, right? To help it kind of process, to help stop that reaction that's like calling for more. It stops stress response. It's freaking great. You feel like you just got a massage. Okay. So we're going to do it together. I'm going to pause the recording. Those of you who are listening to this on Spotify, I don't know. If you're a client, go look for unbracing in the page. If you're not a client, ask me and I'll tell you about it. Okay. Be right back. All right. Back to our next step. So eat every few hours. And I went over this in one of the videos. I gave a bunch of tips on how to do this. I'm a big advocate of the snackle box, where in the morning you just grab a bunch of grab and go stuff and keep it near you. Kind of like keep like a lunch box full of options, a little snackle box, tackle box, get it? And just every so often have a noshing. If you're not a meal person, that's totally fine. Just don't go long periods of time without eating, because again, if your body is not pulling energy from food, it's pulling energy from adrenaline. So that's what we want to stop. Okay, evening time. This is a big one, especially for those of us who have very high demand days. And I go into depth on this in the Happy Adrenals video, but those of us who have very high demand days, having our nighttime is our time. It's the time that's not, we don't need to be available to people. We don't need to give anyone answers. We don't need to be anything but just exist. And a lot of times, especially with the nature of having a little computer in our hands at all times, we can get our dopamine fix at night. And I love a good TikTok scroll session at night. I really do. But I have a quitting time, because if I don't have a quitting time, I will just sit there and just mindlessly scroll or just stay on my couch, even past the time of being actually tired. It kind of like time escapes me, right? So, quitting time. Did I see someone say that they were told to fast 20 hours a day? They said just don't eat. That's what they said. So annoying. Oh my God. This is where I get spicy, because I'm like, that is just so aggravating. It's so unhealthy. Like, in what realm is that healthier? It's so bad. Anyway, I hear things that shock me every day. Somehow. But having a quit in time, put it on your phone. Put it on your phone as a reoccurring alarm. Are you going to listen to it? Probably not at first. I didn't. But still having that reminder, even if I ignore it for a half hour, an hour, whatever, I was still getting to bed earlier than I was not having that reminder there. So set a realistic quitting time for yourself. Again, like with the water. Water's healthiest. I'm just going to drink water even though you hate water. No, just like don't set your quitting time at like 9 p.m. because that's like the ideal bedtime when you're like a 2 a.m. kind of person. Set your quitting time for 1:30 or 2 a.m., like, and then slowly key it back as you get used to it. There's no extra points for making it harder. I worked so hard, and it's not going to get you the results you want any faster. And what ends up happening is when you realize that, you give up doing the hard stuff. So there's no point. Key it back slowly. Make a realistic quitting time for yourself that you're not going to have a hard time listening to. If anything, make it a little bit later so that you feel accomplished, because you're like, wow, I'm in bed half hour earlier than my quitting time, but just give yourself that step to work towards. I need a quitting time. Like I said, it's huge. It became like I built such a nighttime routine that it almost became enjoyable, because like my quitting time, that truly meant, okay, now I really don't have to do anything, for anybody. Like now I can truly be left the hell alone and I can just get ready for bed. So, here's a radical one. I don't do this. It's like, I think I'm really good at quitting time comes and I shut my phone off and I put it down and that's it. In the beginning, I did this more. I hated it, but it's what made me get good at putting my phone down next to me and then not touching it, is because I would still rather do that. So get a cheap alarm clock, charge your phone in a different room, set your alarm clock in your room. You might be like, well, I can't. What if someone calls? Put your ringer on or something. I don't know. But like, how many people call you in the middle of the night? You're like, what would be the odds that you would need to be called in the middle of the night? Again, put your ringer on in the other room, you know, on loud. But you should be fine, you know. It doesn't have to be on the other side of the house. It's just not next to your bed where the first thing you're going to do in the morning is grab it, or you're not going to be tempted to look at a screen at night and force your brain to take in information when it should be shutting down and not taking anything in. I did that for a little bit. Like I said, it still gave me anxiety. So it made me like be like, you know what? It's either that or I put my phone down, I put it face down and I don't pay attention to it. And I don't have a hard time doing that now. So, um, gua sha, I have a whole video on this. You don't have to do the official gua sha. Like I just basically like mess around with my face, massage my face. I have a whole video. I'm not gonna do it all for you guys now, but big fan of facial massage, upper neck. I don't know why I went like this, like upper neck massage, lymphatic drainage massage. I have this all on the page. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll tag you in it. But getting this all nice and loosened up from the neck up, it helps you sleep better. It helps you be less puffy in the morning. It helps with lymphatic drainage. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video is a help for us. And it to do something every night, your body gets used to that routine. So it will start to associate it with like a shutdown of the day. Big fan of that. Nightly sensory showers. My showers, listen, I don't know. We built our bathroom. We moved into this house. This house was like a shithole, right? And the first room really that we had done besides our bedroom, we like lived in a construction zone for, I don't know, a lot of you weren't following me back then. We literally lived in a construction zone. We were like squatting in our own home because wouldn't have been allowed to live here for a long time. And the first room that was done besides our bedroom was the bathroom with the shower, my glass shower. It's like my dream shower and everything. I take full advantage of nighttime sensory showers in there. But before I had that ability, I had a shower curtain and I had a bathroom. That was it. And I discovered that galaxy lights in small bathrooms are an incredible thing. It's amazing. So have yourself a little sensory experience at night. Put your hair up in a t-shirt or something. So unless you know, like I don't do my hair at night, but I shower almost every night, and it's a quick one. Here's my tips for the luxe experience. Right, get a towel warmer from Amazon. I will link mine if you'd like. Get a towel warmer from Amazon. I think they're like $20 and change, and they're amazing. What an experience getting out of a shower to have a warm towel. I just love it. Get a galaxy light. Mine, again, I think it was like $20 and change. Nothing crazy. I will link mine because it hasn't broken down, even though it's been in my steamy ass shower for a really long time now. And it had like my old ones would break every few months because you're not supposed to have them in the bathroom. This one's holding out strong. So I'll link it. Have a galaxy light going in there. Don't have a bright above light. It's okay if it's a little dark in your shower. Even better. Your eyes are adjusting to the light being darker, and that helps you go to sleep. And just let the hot water hit you. Get a shower gel you really like the smell of. Just get a loofah. I don't know. Get like a washcloth, whatever, and have a sensory experience where you basically are massaging your body. You're not like intentionally doing that, but just stimulating your nerve endings in your skin also is a way to really calm down before bed. So we got towel warmer, galaxy light, shower gel you like the smell of, shower your body, and I cannot tell you what a difference it makes. It's amazing. Better sleep you get, better adrenals you have the next day. Um, Sleep timer, change your TV to black and white. If you have like the menu settings like on the actual TV remote, I figured out that you can change the on most TVs, you can change like the color setting. You can do the black and white feature. So if you're somebody who like needs the screen on at night, like you need the TV on or whatever, lower the volume to like a background noise degree and then change it over to black and white. And it's less stimulating than regular color TV. And use a sleep timer so it's not subconsciously playing as you're sleeping. This one I feel like can be a whole other Zoom topic, but yeah, I'm not going to go too in depth in this one. Don't be afraid to explore some kind of plan that makes separate rooms happen if you need to. If you have, unfortunately, you sleep with a wonderful, albeit noisy partner, or just some kind of, distracting partner who wakes you up and you're not vibing entirely in the sleep department. I don't want to just like say this and just, not give it time. But like I said, this could be its own thing. This could be its own Zoom. Is don't be afraid to explore earplugs. Don't be afraid to explore different rooms. Don't be afraid to explore, especially you have kids coming in the bedroom to wake you up, go into their rooms and like, just if you can fit with them, like just figure out what you got to do to go to bed in a way where you're not going to be disrupted as much as possible and just configure a plan around it. So much easier said than done. And this is so individual to the household, right? So that's why I'm saying text me about this. Let me know if you want me to do a whole other Zoom on this, like just sleep hacks. I don't want anyone to be insulted by how I'm just rattling that off really casually, but don't feel bad if like, yes, it's nice to like fall asleep with your partner, but like the hope is y'all are gonna be asleep. You're never gonna know they're gonna be there, really. You're still in the same house. So if you need any help around this area, definitely let me know. Hope I didn't piss anyone off suggesting it, but it's not the end of the world. And your sleep matters. You'd be a far better partner the next day if your adrenals aren't like, because you wanted to put a pillow over your partner's face throughout the night. So we're not dealing in ideals here. Ideally, you'd sleep like a rock regardless. But if that ship has sailed, there's concessions that can be made. You're not a monster for it. Okay, so I just tried to rattle through so many of those so quickly, not keep you here forever. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys implement these. I was thinking maybe I'd just make like a written checklist. I know I did that with the graphics from the Happy Adrenals episode. Those are on the Facebook group page, but let me know if you want like meeting notes on these too, if that would be helpful to have something written out. And I will try to work on that. So, okay. And then lastly, I extended the early bird pricing for the foodie retreat. We're doing Your Body Loves Food. It's a whole weekend in my house. I'm cooking for you guys. You are going to be chilling with me. We're not staying on the property, but we'll be doing shuttles back and forth to your local hotel or whatever. I extended the early bird special because a couple people asked me to do that, but that will be going away tomorrow. So if you need the link for the details for the retreat, we have a weekend in April and a weekend in May. May is filling up quick. So definitely let me know. And I will get that link to you. Yeah, and answer any questions you might have. So enjoy the rest of your night. I will definitely see you guys in the chat. I will make you a checklist. And look out for the Happy Adrenals classroom. I will configure that for you by the end of next week. So, and then I'll see you next week. We'll kick off a new series. So, mwah. Bye. Love you guys.